5. Is he in? Touchdown! Unbelievable. What a first half for Gary Wade. Somehow gets in. He's got all 3 Woodbury touchdowns. This one, Mike,
a
on
total
a
mistake.
77-yard scoring strike from Milton Dean. Woodbury back in the lead, 18-12. Wade with a touchdown.
Total error by number 82. Watch him. Kostrava had him, and it says, I'm not supposed to take him, I guess. And they let him go right down the field, and they took advantage of it. I thought Colburn should have had him a couple of times and doesn't get to it. That shows the kind of effort that this young man puts in.
Well, I've liked him for 3 years.
Kostrava watched him go right by him, turned around and said, my man, and it was, and he's wide open.
Now Woodbury is going to abandon kicking the extra point and go for 2. Right up the middle and easily into the end zone. Rodney Dean for the conversion. So Woodbury with 3:11 to play in the half is a 20-12 lead. 2 plays, 82 yards, just a minute 11 off the clock. And so Woodbury, Mike, they don't throw the football very much, but they got a big one there. It was a mistake, and Woodbury took advantage of it.
Well, that's the most important thing, and the other team makes an error at this level. You better take advantage of it because, generally speaking, it's not going to be a blowout in any championship game. You get the opportunity, take advantage of it. That time, Wade out of the backfield, right down the middle, what was called an old banana pattern. Kostrava looks at him. Wade goes right by him. Kostrava turns and looks for help. Nobody there. Bang! They hit him right with the
bat. What kind of a game is that guy having? Mike, he's recovered a fumble for a touchdown. He's run one in from the 9, and he's caught a pass for 72. That's not a bad half.
No, not at all. And you read about them, and you don't hear that much about that guy. You've been talking about him all season long.
Well, if he was underrated before today, he's certainly not underrated anymore. So Clayton will have time. 3:11 with their offense. That's plenty of time to get it even before halftime. That's Marshall in the middle. Clayton's stunned by that play. Woodbury rarely throws the football, but he did it there. Steve Puglia deep along with Broken Ball and Marshall. Murphy kicking off for the Thundering Herd. Fairly short kick. It'll be taken by Puglia at the 16-yard line. And he breaks a tackle. He's going to be a good player, Steve Puglia. Only a sophomore. So Clayton will start from its own 30-yard line.
All right, Clayton would be well advised here, Bob, not to go for any bombs. To take the 304 and say, if we can drive it down the field and get into better field position, maybe we'll open it up. But we do not want Woodbury to get the ball back in good field position and be able to score another one before halftime. Do not open it up. Go with your normal offense, and we know what that is. Marshall, maybe Anouye a little bit. Marshall, Anouye a little bit. Marshall, Anouye.
Marshall up the middle, nowhere. He is met by all 295 pounds of George Thornton with help from his friends.
Strange call, gone right at that load.
Adam Fox in there, but other Woodbury tacklers assist him. But only 2-yard gain, 2nd down and 8. The ball at the 33-yard line with 2:33 on the clock running into half. Hess is walking better, Mike, if you notice there in the bottom of the screen.
Right there.
Oh, he got hit.
Pump fake and going deep is Broken Ball, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted. And Woodbury's Chad Pierce, a sophomore, with a big interception and a return to the 42. And now there's a penalty on the play.
What I tell you, Bob, don't open it up. They opened it up, and they give Woodbury the ball back with 2:07. Let me tell you, Hess was clobbered downfield, but I think it was before the ball was thrown, so it shouldn't be against them. Offensive pass interference, they called it against Hess instead of the other way around.
Now, Mike, Hess is limping off again, and very, very badly.
Offensive pass interference has been declined. First down.
Mike, this is a critical point in the football game for Clayton, but let's look at the interception first.
All right, watch. Hess is going to go down. You won't see him get bumped. There's the pump. Now he looks the other way because Hess couldn't get anywhere because he was just about knocked down. They get up in the air. Broken ball nearly wrestles this away, but the strength of Pierce gives it to Woodbury.
Back to live action at the 42-yard line. Dean to throw. Swings it out, intended for Rob Long. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Mike, critical point in the game for Clayton because obviously they don't want Woodbury to get that other score before halftime. They really have to hold them here. They can't let Woodbury get a 2-touchdown lead.
Exactly why I would not have thrown that football unless I was in much deeper field position. I would have just run my offense and, hey, if the worst happens, I go in down 8 points. But I don't go down 14 or 16 or 15 points. They better loosen a little in the defensive backfield. Kostrava is way up tight from the defensive halfback position. Too tight. Too tight. They ran by him
good
again.
Protection, and he's wide open again. And the catch by Wade. And Wade breaks a tackle. And Wade is finally dragged down at the 21. The ball is loose. 2 penalty markers
Forward
down.
lateral.
A forward lateral by Wade just as he was going down. A mistake. He didn't make many mistakes, but that was one.
The same thing happened again, Bob. Kostrava, 82, playing right defensive halfback, right before the snap, came up to the line of scrimmage, Bob, and he watched...
5-yard penalty. Be a 1st down.
And he watched the receiver Wade run right by him. They've got to make that correction defensively. Scott must think he has help in the defensive backfield. He's not getting it. Watch, here he is. He came right up on the right side of your screen. Wade saw it and went right by him.
Another big play by Wade, but another good throw by Milton Dean, and yeah, that's a mistake. Oh well,
138.
He's allowed one of those.
Maybe the big numbers right now. 135, 4, 3 as the clock runs.
All 26-yard line, plenty of time. There is time. Single setback is Smith behind Dean. Back to throw, getting a big rush, gets it off, and almost intercepted. Could have been by Colburn. So Woodbury gets a break there as Colburn could have picked off that pass.
That was a big one for Colburn because he had it, and he would have had a little running room in front of him, or he could have had the momentum of the ball, carry him in the end zone to get it to 20. But watch Wyman come from the left side, number 53. Nobody gets on to him as a result of that fake in the line. Here he comes, gets right into the midsection, and he delivers the ball. Actually, the man was open to the right side, and he just didn't have time for it.
2nd down and 15.
Loosen, they better loosen.
Dean getting a big rush, and completes it to Smith, who gets out of bounds. Boy, a big play by Smith, and a nice effort by Milton Dean, who got a tremendous rush from Larry Wyman and Brian McCray. Still got it off, and they complete the pass for the 1st down to the 15-yard line. 1:11 to play.
And now they're caught. They're at the 15-yard line. You'd think defensively they want to play loose, but down in here it gets awfully tight because if a man catches the ball inside of you, he only needs one little move to get into the end zone. So they've created their own problem here, not getting the interceptions, giving them the same reception downfield that they had gotten the touchdown on earlier.
Back in the passing formation with the single setback, double wing setup. Dean back to throw. Dean getting a rush again. Lobs it into the end zone, and it is incomplete. That was a dangerous pass by Dean, who got a big rush again by the Clippers. This time in on the play was Ralph Dye in there quickly on Dean.
Kirby looks a little tired now, 86. He has really been struggling back to the backfield, the tight end for Woodbury. DeFrance knocked that one away, and I wonder if DeFrance had a chance to catch it in the end zone. He just reached up with a hand and knocked it away instead of looking for the catch.
Kirby, incidentally, made the big field goal block at Florence last week that really enabled Woodbury to get here today. 2nd down and 10, back in the wishbone. Showing blitz. Dean goes deep, and almost
intercepted, wasn't it? Now
intercepted.
Yes,
A great interception by Nick Brokenball. A huge play by Brokenball. The intended receiver for Kirby was the intended receiver. Double coverage on him, and an outstanding play by that young man, Nick Brokenball. And that's the play Clayton needed to stay in this football game.
What's the concentration from Brokenball down at the end of the play? It's really forced in with the double coverage, but with the pressure, he's got to get rid of it. Throws it off the wrong foot, but gets it up in the air as a result. It's knocked away, and watch Brokenball.
Great.
Yeah, great concentration.
Outstanding play. Let's see how Clayton plays this with 59 seconds to go in the half. They'll keep it on the ground with Marshall. Marshall only a couple of yards as big number 72, George Thornton, makes a good play. Marshall manages to get 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5 with the clock moving 45 seconds. And Clayton in no apparent hurry to stop the clock. I think maybe Jim Barron's thinking along with you at this point, Mike. Let's just get in there. Down only by 8. We're still very much in the football game. Nothing cute.
I sure wouldn't throw it.
28 seconds, 27. Marshall with the sweep right. Marshall taking his way. Watch it, he's broke loose down the sideline. And he's finally driven out of bounds by Milton Dean. That's the kind of play he scored on against Gloucester last week. Injured Woodbury player is Anthony Johnson back about the 26-yard line. That's Marshall's best run of the game, and it gets them just inside Woodbury territory at the 49.
Look at the way his production has grown over the years. That 11 yards, don't get fooled by it, Bob, in 88. He only carried the ball once in that 0-9 season for the Clippers. That was against Glassboro. Then all of a sudden, people started to take notice of this speedy halfback from Clayton in 89 when he got the 836, and then came into everybody's psyche a year ago. Nobody thought he could top that one, 1,619, but he did it this year prior to today's game, 2,130, and now what, over 2,200 yards?
Oh, he's
for the season?
That's right. Magnificent career, no question. He has got, Mike, he's got 77 yards, and that's not bad.
No, so that gives him 22.07.
And 25 of those on that last carry. The injured Woodbury player is Anthony Johnson. He's a junior tight end and two-way performer for the Thundering Herd being worked on.
If Marshall had one more yard either way to the right side, he goes all the way for the touchdown. Wow, what a halftime we'd have that people talking about in the stands if that had happened.
Mike, there is a great crowd at this football game. The fans lining the fences.
What do you figure, 3,500?
At least. This is, I think this is a bigger crowd than we've had for any of the group championship games here that I can recall.
Well, you get fooled, of course, at Woodbury. You cannot gauge it from the traditional high school games because the stands here on this side are so big, it takes so many people to fill it. Where you go to another place that has the normal grandstands and it gets filled and you say, wow, what a group. But you can see the kind that Clayton brought. The crowd, I think there's nobody home today in Clayton. Hope the police people are there. Watch Marshall on this one. He looks as if he may be hemmed in right there as 84, who got hurt. Johnson couldn't make the tackle, and then he just finds the opening.
Yeah, that's
he says, give me one more yard. Give me a yard to the outside, and he is out of bounds right there and doesn't have what he needs.
He scores if Dean doesn't push him out of bounds.
Yep.
That's what he does best, break tackles, and he had a run very similar to that went all the way against Gloucester last week. So there's 16 seconds to go, and let's see if now DeFrance might go deep.
I don't know. I'd still run Marshall. Marshall loves the left side. They're on the right hash mark. I'd look for a pitch to the left side for Marshall. And, of course, they didn't have Hess in the game, so they got to get Pastrava in late.
DeFrance back to throw, getting good protection, goes deep, looking for Hess is in the game. He was lined up on the right side.
Yeah, that's where he was. I was wondering where he was.
It's 2nd down. You know, he runs okay with that full head of steam, but then, Mike, he starts limping.
Well, that's effort. That's an athlete for you. You know, forget the pain. Play with the pain.
Well, remember, he has the first Clayton touchdown, and another great catch set up the second Clayton touchdown.
Now, Colburn has an ankle problem out there. Barron's taking a look at that as Clayton calls a timeout. You talked, Bob, before the game. You were here real early. You took a long walk on that field. You couldn't get over how soft it was. And I'm wondering how many of these young guys are twisting their ankles because of the softness of the field.
There are some very soft spots, Mike, particularly as we indicated in the pregame at the eastern end at about the 5-yard line on in. Jim Boyd has had a remarkable 2 years as head coach at Woodbury High School after replacing Larry Ginsburg. And how about the Gins, Mike? He's playing for a title today at Eastern against Toms River North.
He's had success here at Woodbury after struggling early a little bit and then building such a tremendous,
his last 3 teams here,
dynasty.
How about those people?
How about that?
They didn't pay to get in, but you know, that's the way it used to be here at Woodbury, Mike, back when they had those crowds of 10,000 at Collingswood games on Thanksgiving Day.
You don't remember that, do you?
Nope, don't go back that far.
Yeah, they keep spilling over the fence and rolling down the hill.
Second down and 10, the ball right at midfield with 11 seconds to go in the half. DeFrance going deep again. Getting really good protection. Going deep, looking for Marshall. And coverage by Milton Dean. Incomplete. 4 seconds to go on in the first half. So they send Marshall deep. Again, with Hess unable to run.
Now there's Colburn. You can see him, 28, limping back.
So we have had as exciting a first half as we could have ever imagined. Woodbury leading 20-12, but the Clippers of Clayton showing a lot of people today they can play football. And of course, part of the reason the young man that just came into the huddle, Jim Barron. Jim was here a couple of years ago as an assistant at Paulsboro High School for one of these championship games. Mike said he was atop the press box on that bitterly cold day here. Remember that one?
I'm amazed he ever found his way to Clayton then. You would have thought he would still be a frozen statue up there.
Yeah.
That was the coldest day we've spent in 14 years of football coverage on Channel 5. And we've seen a lot of games, but I don't think everybody's heart was in it that day.
That was the last Jimmer Bundy year, I guess, at Woodbury High.
There have been some good ones.
Mike,
we've watched.
what a streak Woodbury has had with 3 consecutive championships. Boyd picking up where Ginsburg left off last year. Tim Boyd with only 1 loss, 19 1 loss in each season, 19-2. Of course, the big streak broken last year by Haddon Heights, and then the Collingswood loss this year. Here it is, final play of the half, unless there's a defensive penalty. DeFrance with the Hail Mary pass. What? He's open. Hess is open, and he's going to be dropped.
No timeout. That's it.
Hess got loose, but he's going to be stopped at the 7-yard line. That'll end the first half. A 43-yard play, but no touchdown. Wow, what a first half. On the Heritage scoreboard. I'm breathless. Woodbury 20, Clayton 10. Let's look at it.
He had the Hail Mary on the right, so he came back to the left where he got one-on-one for Hess. Good thing the defender had come from the other side and said, I better help out. And the ball was up in the air so long. 20-12. The second half can only be better. Oh, what a half of football we had here at Woodbury in the South Jersey Group 1 final. You can see the halftime stats, and not much to separate these two teams. Just a couple of first downs. The Herd on top, 8-6. Rushing yardage, surprisingly, with the great Robert Marshall in the backfield for the Clippers. The Herd still on top, 128-126. Passing, DeFrance throwing the ball big time, 125-115. Total yardage pretty close, not much separating them here. Turnovers, each once. And of course, time of possession, Woodbury on top. But remember, they had that big 7 minutes plus drive in the opening drive of the game. Following that, time has been really dominated by the Clippers. 20-12, Woodbury on top as they look for their 4th consecutive South Jersey Group 1 championship. The Clippers looking to get their first one. Mike Linder along with Bob Shryock for Storer Communication. It was a great first half. Let's see what we get here in the second 24 minutes, plus the possibility of overtime. Bob?
Mike, I was amazed by that 454 yards combined offense from these two teams. That is a lot of offense for a 24-minute high school half. Mike Murphy kicks off for the Thundering Herd. Rob Marshall deep, flanked by Puglia and Broken Ball for the Clippers. Second half underway, and it'll be taken by Marshall at the 16. And Marshall breaking a tackle and gets pretty good return for the Clippers to the 35-yard. And remember, Clayton trailing by 8, but nearly scored what could have been the tying touchdown on the last play of the first half when somehow Hess got loose.
Replay one of the touchdowns in the first half. Watch DeFrance. Excellent faking. Puts the ball on the hip, hides it. The ball goes to Hess. Hess drives himself into the end zone, but on that play injured the ankle and has been limping the rest of the way.
First and 10, Marshall with the cat. He is hit at the line of scrimmage and driven back on an outstanding play by Woodbury's Dwayne Petros, number 52, and Marshall loses a yard. It'll be second down and 11. Not too often Rob loses any yardage, but he's done it twice in this game.
And both on that same play, trying to run to the left side straight ahead. And not going to get much in there. Too much size, maybe. And a great surge by the defense from Woodbury on the line.
2nd and 11, they split the backs. The pitch, the ball is fumbled. It's picked up by Woodbury. Smith at the 5, the 10, and he scores.
Well, that could be a killer, huh?
Jermaine Smith taking the fumble by Marshall and taking it into the end zone for Woodbury, which all of a sudden has a 26-12 lead. Jermaine Smith, who has been used sparingly this season, Mike, thrust into the starting lineup offensively, playing two ways, and makes a huge play here.
First time they went with the quick pitch, Bob, instead of the turn and the power sweep. And they had the blocker out in front, but he looked somewhat confused. The ball bounces off Marshall and up into the hands of Smith, who showed great presence of mind to go in for that touchdown.
So Jermaine Smith with a huge play. Adam Fox, this is the muddy end of the field, and he'll kick it out of Wade. So Wade comes up. Wade is going to try to get in the end zone. Does he? Apparently not. Wade does not get. There's a penalty marker on the play as well, and an injured Clayton player. He'll be all right. He's up at the 5-yard line. That is number 53, Larry Wyman. The penalty apparently against Woodbury, it will be declined, so the two-point conversion try, no good. And it'll stand at 26-12, but that was on the first play of the second half. Just 57 seconds into the second half, Woodbury's lead soars to 26-14.
Boy, that changes things, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure
really changes things. It has to deflate the Clippers coming out of the locker room and have that happen to them. And they're going to have to regroup real fast. They focus on that. It could wind up being a very long second half for the Clippers and a happy, happy second half for this group. Remember, they're looking for number 4 in a row. Unprecedented.
29-yard run with the recovered fumble by Jermaine Smith. Big moment in his career at Woodbury High. Not one of the better-known players, but he is having an impact in this game. Good job both sides of the football. So Murphy will kick it off again. Now Clayton down by 14. Its widest deficit will need to come back and score. The freshman Murphy kicking off again. Higher kick, short. Puglia at the 21. Puglia is hammered down. Good coverage by Rodney Dean for the Thundering Herd. Also in on the play was Brandon Pierce, a junior. And Clayton will start from the 36. Mike, important now for them to get their offense back in track.
Yeah, and this is a test for them because you're going to see Woodbury come with a surge, Bob. They have the first real breathing room of the afternoon. On the other hand, the Clippers, if they don't respond, are going to wind up being knocked back on their heels quickly. Look for some tackles in the backfield if that happens.
DeFrance to throw. Hess not in the ball game, but the pass good to Colburn. And Clayton feels obviously, Mike, that they can throw on this Woodbury defensive secondary. Remember, Shannon Green not in there, one of the better defenders in the area. Both he and Jones do not have pads on to start this half. This is a first down completion to midfield, and DeFrance continues to have a good game throwing the football, but
First and 10,
Hess not in there, Mike.
DeFrance, what, 4 for 8 now?
4 for 8. He was 3 for 7, 125 yards, all to Hess in the first half.
Big guy here, not in the ball game anymore either.
Todd Jones, without his pads on, apparently finished for the day, along with Shannon Green, two very important players to this Woodbury team. DeFrance again. Going deep. Oh, boy, mistake there, and it should have been intercepted by Rodney Dean. It was not. Not a good throw by DeFrance, and should have been picked off.
Somebody ran a wrong pattern if DeFrance was correct, because nobody was there at all. DeFrance looked like he knew where somebody was supposed to be, and that's the one thing about Keith DeFrance, Bob. He delivers the ball before the cuts, and that's why so frequently he gets these big completions. I'll tell you what, they're a different ball club throwing the ball without Hess in there.
And Hess is still on the sidelines trying to work out his injury. They run the draw to Marshall. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Woodbury read it beautifully. Penalty marker is down. The initial hit made by
And he's hurt.
Dwayne Petros.
He really took a shot there. He gets up all right.
Personal foul, dead ball foul. Dead ball foul. Third down. Third down going which way? Dead ball foul, personal foul, late hit.
Oh, late hit on Marshall, so this is going to cost Woodbury.
But not a first down.
Woodbury fans unhappy with that call, but Woodbury read the draw perfectly. So Clayton gets it to the 42-yard line. They'll be 2 yards short of the first down, 3 yards. It'll be third and 3.
Personal foul, lost it down. It's going to be third down.
Another one of
Happened after the play.
Great Channel 5 innovations, getting the official mic to the stands. They love hearing what the calls are. Jim Barron concerned, his team down by 14 points for the first time. Marshall, 2 carries, -9 yards in this half. Marshall with the carry. Marshall breaks a tackle, gets the first down to the 35. Clayton back knocking on Woodbury's door again, trying to respond, and that personal foul call looming large right now.
Did you see that second acceleration that he had? Made the initial yardage for the first down, saw that he had additional time, and bang, turned it on again. That's what separates the good ones from the great ones, that acceleration from an almost standing position.
Ball at the 35 with a 1st and 10 for the Clippers with 10 minutes to play in the third. The pitch to Marshall. Marshall tough on these plays, following blockers, stays on his feet, somehow gets extra yardage. That's why he is so good. It looks like you have him pinned down, knocked down for a short yardage, and he manages to maintain his balance and get more, this time to the 27. So, Mike, he gets 6 yards out of a play that looks like he should get 2 or 3.
Well, they got a super block from Anue out there on the outside. You'll see that number 48 leading the way. Watch 48 throw the block and shield his man to, well, we'll see it right here. Shields his man to the outside, takes care of him, and Marshall's able to get the additional yardage because of it. His left side, where he loves to go, is wide open again.
2nd and 4. And he'll come this way, but he is dragged down. Adam Fox with a big defensive play. The veteran Adam Fox with an outstanding play, and it's a loss again by Marshall of 2. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Fox, one of those guys, because of the size of the Thorntons, hasn't been written up that much, but he has been effective a number of seasons now for Woodbury.
Passing down, and again, Clayton operating without their outstanding receiver, Joe Hess. To France to throw. Lots of time. It is knocked down. The intended receiver, Colburn, knocked down nicely by Rob Long for
Bob,
Woodbury.
You can't run pass offense that way, Bob. They send 2 receivers out. They run them both long on an obvious passing down. Your first step that the defensive halfback is always taught anyway is a step back to assess the situation. When you take the step back, by then he's back in a passing position. You just keep maintaining distance, and then you close on the ball. On a 3rd down situation, you've got to run a couple of people deep maybe, and then flood somebody into a flat short for the first down. They did not do that.
4th down and 6, a big call for the Clippers. The France getting a big rush from Smith, dumps it off, and almost caught on a great play by Brian McRae, but it's incompleted. And Jermaine Smith, number 34, an impact player in this football game, gets the big rush on DeFrance and forces the quick throw. Incompleted. Woodbury takes over. But there is I guess there's an apparent
penalty. Well, there's a discussion anyway.
Yeah, didn't see a flag.
Illegal procedure. Only 5 men on the line for the offense. Been refused. First down, Woodbury.
5 men on the line.
That's a lot of guys in the backfield, isn't it?
Yeah. 1st down and 10. Woodbury takes over at his own 29-yard line. And again, a critical spot for the Clayton defense, because if Woodbury scores again on this possession, Mike, the Clippers could be history.
Yeah, there's probably a little question about that. I'll tell you, the other thing is Hess on the sideline, if he can go at all, has to say, hey, this is my last game. I'm a senior. I got all winter to heal. I'm getting back in there.
Some running room for Rodney Dean. Rodney Dean in the first half, 7 carries, 48 yards. And he makes another big gain here of about 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Mark, again, that depth. I mean, there's just very few Group 1 football teams that have the kind of backfield depth Woodbury does, and has throughout this great run.
And at the skill level they have, Bob, I don't know if there's too many Group 1, 2, 3, or 4 schools that can do it.
2nd and 4. They're operating without Green, and Jones doesn't seem to make any difference. Big hole again, and he breaks it. Rodney Dean at the 40, the 35, the 20, the 10, dragged down from behind by broken ball on a touchdown-saving tackle, but a huge play by Rodney Dean, and Woodbury now very close to gaining a 3-touchdown lead.
Remember the first drive, Bob, over 7 minutes? Where did they run? Off right tackle. This time they run off right guard. That right side has been so effectively offensively, and then the speed. Credit broken ball, never giving up, timing it perfectly, finally to make the tackle.
Woodbury at the 8-yard